Hi, Josh.
How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Awesome, man. I went to go log in. I was like, the link, I always try to look early, and the link was missing. And so I was like, I had to resend it. So it worked out. That's actually a first.
Yeah, no.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time today. And I was just kind of, the highlight of this call is just to kind of show you kind of our model. And then I was also going to show you some technologies that we can code in. So if and when you may need programming help, you can kind of, see our experience.
Yep.
And the type of, what coding language or technology you might need help, whether it's, Java, HL7, depends on what you guys code in or what you need help with.
Okay.
So this will just be kind of a high level call of, deposit rate, model, how we bill. And then if and when you have either a scope of you just may say, hey, Josh, I have a scope of stuff that I just need done.
Mm-hmm.
I can roll a team on that way. I can set up a call with our director of operations to go over that with you, and then we can roll a team on. So, it's really just a matter of a couple calls, and I can get a team rolled on within 48 hours. But just kind of show you our experience in our model, and if it's something you're comfortable with, then if and when you may need some help, you'll know kind of how we work, and then from there we can, provide you, some support.
Okay.
So just to kind of highlight the company, we started in 2000. It's our 19th year. We're headquartered in Fort Lauderdale.
Nice area.
You can see my screen, correct?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, perfect. So you'll see here, all of our project managers that are located throughout the United States. Our developers are in our centers in India, and they work in U.S. time zone. We're across many different industries, everything from agricultural all the way to healthcare, all the way to transportation.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 1,200 programmers, and they each, they'll have industry-specific experience. I want to say in the healthcare industry, we have about 250 to 300.
Okay.
So you can always, when it says scalability and support, simply that you can have, say, hey, Josh, I need one developer, I need two, I need three, you can pick. You can always start with one, and if you want to fast track something, you say, actually, I want to knock these out quicker. I'd like to add another developer. So we don't tie you down with a certain amount of staff. There's no time lock, so we simply can be rolled off within 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a long-term contract you have to sign with us.
Okay.
Everything we do for you, you own, whether it's a custom solution like a mobile app or just simply providing bandwidth support. You're going to own the source code and the IP.
Okay.
Again, they work in U.S. time zone. The project managers work 7:30 to 4:30, 5 o'clock. So you get real-time communication. There's no lag time. If you need to ask a question, make a phone call, you get real-time responses. And then you can kind of just see we've had plenty of experience, plenty of repeat customers. The way we bill, I always like to be open and upfront, is it's $25 an hour. We don't bill any overtime. So for one developer, which includes a complimentary project manager, as you can see here with 10 years experience, a team lead, a developer, and then our own internal QA, which will code their work. If it's a custom build, or they'll just go behind it to check their code unannounced. Of course, our clients, if they want to do their own unannounced code review, they can do that. But the only thing we charge for is the developer, as you can see here. And the way we get this 4,400 is the team works 44 hours a week, Monday through Friday, and then every other Saturday, twice a month. We bill on the first of the month, and we do require a deposit to get started. It allows us to put a team in place, allocate them to you, and that deposit can be applied to your, say you need developers for 3 months. On the second month, you can apply that deposit on your third month bill if you'd like.
Okay.
So it just allows us, because we're gonna take a team and dedicate them straight to you, and then they'll either if you have a scope of initiatives that you want to just provide them, what they'll do is they'll allocate it, and this says project plan, but I'll call it, anytime it's like bandwidth augmentation or staff, this would be like a task list initiative. And they would basically list your task here, probably go over with you what you want done first through, first, second, third, all the way to the end. And then it'll give you how long it'll take. And then From there, you'll say, okay, looks good, sign off on it, and they'll just go ahead and start knocking them out.
So at minimum, the project has to take up close to a month's time, just to.
Yeah, generally we're looking for like most of our clients, it's usually a minimum of 2 months is what they need help with.
Okay.
Minimum of 2 months worth of work.
Yep.
If it's a custom build, this takes about 2 to 3 weeks to build, but that's also including a detailed project plan, which includes wireframes. I equate it to like your owner's manual of your car. So they're going to put that together. They're going to put the project plan with the list of initiatives and tasks. And then they're also going to put together a high-level design document.
Okay.
And then every day at 5:15, they're going to send you what we call a 5:15 report on work that was done. So you'll know exactly where it correlates to the task ID on the project plan. So you'll be able to have the project plan and know, okay, hey, they're on task 11 right now, or they're on task 21. So you'll know exactly where they're at.
Perfect.
They'll set weekly meetings with you, or bi-weekly, however you want to set it up, depends on your schedule. Usually this is at the once we're engaged, we receive the deposit. The director of operations, I don't know if you got to meet Deepak at NCPA, but he'll give you a call. He'll introduce your team. And then from there, the next step is they'll go over if you have a list of scope of tasks you need done, they'll go over that with you on the next call. Set up all your instant messaging, direct phone lines, direct emails with everyone. So if you just need to get in touch with everyone, they'll go over that task list with you on the importance, the least important, what and then from there, have a weekly call, and on the weekly call, they'll show you what they did the previous week while the team will continue to work on the next, the next modules.
Okay.
Some companies simply just use us. They'll use just 2 developers that act as their own IT team. It just depends on, the skill set that you're looking for, and, if you have, we work with some mom and pops, and they're like, we don't have an IT person, so they just simply use us, because if you think about it, 2 developers is $8,800 a month. Over 10 months is $88,000 a year. Say 12 months is 96. I mean, a developer is going to cost, an experienced developer is going to cost, with 4 to 5 years experience, around $120,000 plus benefits, plus workers' comp, plus all that. So some companies simply like to utilize us as their IT team.
Yep.
That's perfectly fine. And then let me show you, these are a lot of the technologies that we code in. Let me pull this up. Zoom's a little different. It used to be, hold on one second. It used to be when you go on GoToMeeting to switch screens, it would switch with you, but I have to actually switch the screen first. So if you can see here, I'll just kind of, everything from Android, if you go all the way down, I don't know which may apply to what technology you guys code in. If it's SQL, C++, but
yeah, we
have our own coding standards.
We use SQL.
Okay. SQL, and which else?
I think C++, but I have to double check. I know SQL is the main.
Okay. So as you can see, well, they don't have SQL on here. I know we code in SQL though. That's one of our top ones. Probably just got overlooked, but as you can see, we have developers all. So you would say, hey, Josh, I need a SQL developer and I need a C++ developer. Or you could just need a SQL developer at that time. And then once he's done, you can roll him off. And then say 4 months later, you're like, hey, Josh, I need a C++ developer. We can re-engage at that point in time. So again, it's as need, it's temporary as needed. But the idea is to develop a relationship with you. So if and when you need programming help, you're like, hey, let me just call. I can get us a developer in 3 days. Let me just call Chetu and I'll get them on it. So these are a lot of the technologies we work in. And go back to
Salesforce. That's the CRM, right?
Yeah, we do a lot of, we help with either integrations. We also work with NetSuite. But yeah. So we can work if you need like integrations or same with there's just some off the shelf where they'll just need our help for various reasons. It just depends. Is there anything in particular in Salesforce you needed help with?
No, I just seen them before through various avenues, just kind of what they do.
And they're a big player.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a huge player. I always like to show, this is our development center. As you can see, this is their work area, cubicles. Secure guards. We have our own generators, so we don't experience brownouts.
Oh, okay, I can't
we also
see
have, oh, hold on. You can't see that. I probably need to new share the screen. Yep. Here we go. So you can see our generators. Here's their work area. As you can see, we got 2 big campuses. We actually have a game room for them. They do badminton, ping pong. We have a cafeteria. And again, all of our developers, as you can see on this slide right here, they're going to minimum have 4 to 5 years experience. We don't have any brand new developers that come to work for us. They have to have at least 4 to 5 years. Team lead, we promote from within, so they'll go from a developer to a team lead to a project manager. And generally, a lot of our customers, when you're dealing, say you have a scope of a task list, you're going to be mainly dealing with the project manager, but you'll have full access to the team. But it just, they'll generally put the project manager in the time zone, as you can see here, where you're located. And you'll have all video conferencing, instant messaging. They'll do Zoom meetings, so they can let you take over the screen. You can, when they're putting stuff together, you can check it on that call. And again, those calls can do bi-weekly, weekly, monthly, however you want to schedule it based on your availability. And it may be like every Tuesday at 11 o'clock or Tuesday at 9 or, whatever works for your schedule.
Okay.
But they'll set all that up for you. And the team does a really good job. If you ever need just some companies will come to us and they have, say, if we're building a custom practice management from the ground up and they have no clue anything about it, with our previous experience, we can offer suggestions. So they're there as like consultants as well. So if you're like, hey guys, I was looking at this, this, and this, they could say, okay, well, we could do this. They'll provide you with options. And again, until you have like a detail of stuff you want, it's hard for me to get into specifics. But really, the next step is when you do have, if and when you may have some work, I would set you up on a call with one of our directors, and what they'll do is they'll assign it to who's in charge of, I equate it to, you need a touchdown run in from the one, they're going to give it to the running back. They're going to put it, the developer project manager who's fluid in, say, SQL.
Mm-hmm. So,
and it always helps if you're saying, hey, Josh, this is what we're looking for. If you send me an email, and then I can say, great, I'll set up a call with him. I'll say, hey, Anthony and them are looking for us to knock these out, and then I'll have a director on the line, and he'll go over it with you.
Okay.
And that's complimentary as well. I always just say, you want to hold that call off until you're really ready to get started, so the information's fresh. And generally, for each initiative, I can get them on the call, but it's usually a one-time deal. I'm going to be pulling them off a project. But I don't mind doing that as long as as long as the client is serious about working with us.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a problem. What questions do you have maybe that I haven't answered so far?
Well, I guess none right now. I guess we were just trying to get an idea of, how we could potentially work together in the future if we come across issues or, need projects like this assigned.
If you have a custom project you might need help with, or you want features added to your platform, we can certainly help out with that. I know you said you had some experienced guys that were working with you. You didn't know how long. I remember you said that they were kind of their experience and they were getting up there, and you don't know how much longer they may be around.
Yeah.
Or retire.
Yeah. As with everyone.
But we're strictly, I guess, in your case, for bandwidth and augmentation and staffing would probably be the best. I'm just thinking, and just put my business development hat on, is that's probably maybe where you might need us later down the road in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Because your platform looked really good, and I imagine you guys built that from scratch, right?
I'm sorry?
Your platform that I saw at NCPA, it looked really good, and you guys built that from scratch yourselves, correct?
Correct.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
For you, did you have a hand in that? That's your vision, your baby?
Kind of, but it's through all our team here. We're trying to put our minds to work.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think. So, the important thing to take out of this call is we can help you if you have, some tasks you need help with, or if your guys that are working with, if they get bogged down, we can bring in a guy just to take some stuff off their plate. That's no problem as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to just go over rate, billing, cost, model, and then experience.
Okay.
And I think so far, we covered all that. If there's anything you could think of, you know, down the road, you can always call me directly or shoot me an email. And then, would you like me to check in with you from time to time, or, you know, do you think you may have a time frame of when you'd like me to follow back up with you, or?
Yeah, I'd like you to check in. I mean, probably a couple months, right?
Yeah, probably
Okay.
January. Yeah.
But
I have a couple of questions. This is Yvonne. I've been
Hey, Yvonne, I didn't even know you were there. I'm sorry.
No,
How
that's
are you?
okay. I
I'm
was
Josh.
standing behind Anthony here for part of it. So
Sure.
where is your specialty? Do you have a certain flavor or you know, a certain product that you work on most often?
We really don't. We don't own anything. We've been. Let me just show you this. So, I mean, and if you guys want to take a look at our website when you get a chance, but as you can see here, we're across everything. Can y'all see my screen?
Yep.
So here's everything from agricultural all the way to transportation. Just within the healthcare industry, because that mainly pertains to you guys. As you can see here, we do all kinds of integrations, EMR integrations. We do DICOM packs. We build mobile apps. So it really just depends on telehealth solutions are really big right now. We did for Cloud9 counseling where the doctor can talk to a patient over a telemedicine platform. So it really is something I like to equate that we're a business developer's best friend. If they think of, man, this would be great if we could do this, this, and this to help alleviate this issue. You know, companies come to us all the time trying to, you know, they want a solution to something to help them with their growth, to maybe help, you know, there's a process that technology could upgrade and make it better and more efficient. So we don't really have a sweet spot. I mean, you know, we do everything to aviation for flights. We do, you know, retail for the Hilton hotels, those card readers that open your doors. You know, we're the company that does a lot of back end stuff that no one really knows about, and so it really is custom, but we're also can be utilized in a staffing augmentation just for programming support.
So I see you have the electronic prescription software here, so you're familiar with like the NCPDP standards and so on?
Oh yeah, in Medicare guidelines, yeah, our healthcare team's well versed in all the healthcare, and then for authentication and encryptions, yeah, that's not a. Are y'all looking for an e-scribing solution or feature for your product?
No, part of our product is we work with claims reconciliation. We have custom software that's doing that. We're in the process of completing our own right now.
Okay.
So, you know, we're taking the 835 payment file, decrypting it, and matching it to the claims that are in our software. And, you know, it's all automatic, obviously, but we're finishing that part of the workhorse right now, hopefully be done by the end of the year. But, you know, as Anthony had said, if we want somebody, you know, next year to, you know, we could segue into a different developer or somebody else to actually monitor the software.
Yeah, I mean, we're utilized. Some companies they just need testers. They'll want us to. They'll hire a team to go in and try to find bugs or try to find backdoors for security measures. We're utilized for that as well. So, I mean, we have QA testers that can be, you know, brought on for a couple months. We're just a bunch of programmers that, not me myself, but I have a bunch of programmers that can really just do, you know, specifically what the customer is looking for. And we're really an extension of your team. So you're like, hey, this is very secure. Let's hire, you know, why don't we bring a developer from Chetu, one of their, you know, they'll hire whatever one of our guys is the best one to go in to try to look for backdoors or look for security measures to try to find vulnerabilities. Companies hire us for that quite a bit because cybersecurity is a big thing right now.
Yeah,
that's just an example. So stuff that people don't even think about, you know, we do.
That's very interesting. Who owns your company?
It's owned by one person.
Okay, so it's
he started it out of his garage in 2000, and he's now grown it from one developer to 1,200. Super smart, and we've been growing every year. I think it's every solution is different. Every customer needs something different. We do a lot of games for your iPhone and Android. That was, I think, our first industry we got in was gaming, as you can see here. And so we do a lot of stuff for back-end work for casinos, Unity. We worked with Google for their Oculus Rift, AR, VR solutions.
Wow, this is very impressive. Wow.
There's AR, VR right here. So this gives you a lot of the different solutions. You have the industries. So really, we have a whole floor of just designers. We have a design team. So really just kind of what may fit to help you guys with your growth and efficiency, what you guys may think, hey, this would be great if we could, do this and this. This would take it up a notch.
Right.
We could bring a developer in, depending on what you guys. A lot of people, I do a lot in the pharmacy. They're looking for analytic portals. We're working with a customer. We're integrating all 64 of his stores. And I think they're actually building a whole custom pharmacy management system to get out of paying subscriptions to like Prime RX or Best RX. I'm not sure who they use, or RX30. It wasn't one of my clients, but I do know. I remember when my colleague met them, and that's what they were doing. They wanted to get away from the subscription fees. They wanted to own it. And everything we build is owned by you. So, we build it, you own it. People will white label their products and maybe resell it. It's completely, we don't care what you do with it. We'll just build it for you.
Do you ever, I'm thinking probably sometime in, I don't know, January or February, if we were to have you kind of evaluate our product and let us know where you would see growth or benefit of other enhancements. Kind of just give it, here's our product, here's what we do with it, here's what we use it for, and kind of what do you think you could do for us?
Yeah, I mean, they would, offer options saying, well, we could add, a lot of our customers they'll have an idea what they want, they won't know how to do it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be cost effective to pay $4,400 just to have someone look over your product, honestly. As much as I'd like to do, have that, you'd want to probably maybe talk with your internal team to say, maybe stuff that they're like, man, that would just take too long. But it would be great if it did this.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I could have a team look at it for you. But it would just, I'm just thinking, maybe look at it on y'all's end first, and then if you want a secondhand eyes, that's no problem. I could do that. I'm just, just being honest.
No, and I appreciate that. That's very good. I love your product. I love your, what you've done, and I think more comfortable now that I know you're in the healthcare side of it too. Because you can't just write anything. It's got to be healthcare specific. It's got to have all the security in it.
Yeah. I've noticed healthcare and finance, especially healthcare, is a lot more, it's just a lot more regulated. So for finance platforms, our guys have to go by FINRA guidelines. Just like in healthcare, we have to go by HIPAA guidelines.
Right.
But we do follow all those standards. And so that is that's not, that's something that we're well versed in, as well as Medicare guidelines. So it's strictly, we adhere to those guidelines to stay on the right track, particularly within the healthcare industry.
Josh, can you go to that slide that showed the the owner's manual that you mentioned? That'll
sure.
show.
So what happens is, in this part of let me go down to here to the deployment development. So it actually doesn't, I don't have a specific example other than the project plan, but as you can see here, once we're engaged, we receive the deposit, the team members are identified, their roles are assigned, they set up a kickoff call. And billing doesn't start until the kickoff call is scheduled. Then that's when you'll do meetings with the team. They'll go through everything. And I call it like an extensive interview on what you guys are wanting. And then from that interview on things of importance, that's when they're going to draft the project plan, the high-level design document, and the detailed design document. So these three right here are done within the first 2 to 3 weeks. This one's probably, I mean, I've seen it anywhere from 90 to 100 pages, and that's just for some, small stuff.
Uh-huh.
But it's a detailed document. So, once we're done, we do have a block of hours that customers will buy. It's kind of our warranty, where they can purchase to add features, and it has to be used within a year's time. But they'll use it to add features, anything they want, as opposed to having someone just, on staff at $4,400 a month. It's just much more cost effective to say, here's your product. You'll know you're going to be involved every step of the way, whether it's a task, a custom initiative, or just knocking out tasks. So it's not like something we're going to build and just hand to you and say, here you go, we're finished, and here's all the documentation.
Right.
You'll be involved on the weekly meetings, know how it works prior to it even hitting deployment.
Okay.
But the detailed design document is, if you didn't want our help further, you'll have a point of reference to go back by and be able. A lot of CTOs, companies that they'll say, all right, just give me the detailed design document. We don't need your help. I can go, as long as I have that, we can upgrade it, make changes or whatever.
Very
but
nice.
We're there as support on the back end too. We have that as well.
Can you show us that project plan one more time?
Yeah, no problem. Let me pull that up. So here's and the project plan, if it's a task initiative or a custom build, once they build this and after they interview and everything's here, this gives you the exact time frame. So this started on 10/15 and it ended on 12/6/07. And by some chance, if we ever fall behind this project plan, we're not going to charge you guys overtime. We're going to simply get another developer on our own dime to catch up to make sure that we hit this delivery date.
Very nice.
So that way, there's not this, hey, we could build that in 3 months, and then say 3 months down the road we're at like module 13 on the bridge we're building, and then it's like, oh, it's going to take us another 6 months to finish it. We need more money.
Yeah.
So that kind of this gives transparency to you guys and becomes our commitment to you. On our, because they'll present this to you, you'll look over it. If there's something you want to take out, you could say, hey, we actually don't need that right now. That's not important. Take that out, take this out, and then they'll revise it. Or if you want to add stuff in, you can look at it and say, hey, it would be great if we could add this, this, and this. You can always add stuff to it. And then what they'll do is it's like a project plan 2.0. And they'll present that to you with new delivery dates. And it also depends if you have one developer or two developers working on it. Of course, that, the more, if you have two, it's going to be faster than one. But ultimately, we're able to scale to your budget and your time frame. A lot of customers will start with one developer, and then they'll be like, you know what, I want to add two, or I want to add one to speed this up. One of our big customers, or longtime customers, is Ticketmaster. They've been with us for about 10 years, and they started with one offshore developer. They grew to about 10, and then they scaled back to 3. And now, we have a model called right sourcing where we actually can bring them into your office. But this is more for a minimum of 6 developers, and it's about $75 an hour. They took those 4 that they had on staff offshore and brought them into their office because they like them so much. So they're like, we want to bring them in, and they're just basically they're our employees, but they're working for Ticketmaster.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, Johnson & Johnson has utilized this. So this is a lot of the bigger customers like this model, but it does require like a minimum of 6 months worth of work. We're going to pay to move them over here. We're going to house them and set them up in the city where they're going to be working. So we're going to handle all that for them. But that is an option if that's something you'd like down the road. But I gave you guys our best of both worlds model, which is our offshore at $25 an hour. So that's what this model is.
Very nice. All right, I'm very impressed.
Well, thank you. And I'm sorry, I didn't know you. I apologize for not knowing. I saw you accepted the invite. I just didn't see. When people log onto the thing, it'll say participants. So whenever there's extra people, you'll see there's another person. So I just knew Anthony was on, but if you're in his office, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, I was on another call and then I came in here, so that's very good.
Is there anything that Anthony that she didn't see that maybe I went over before she got in? You know where we were at when she walked in?
Yeah, no, I think she got it all.
Okay. Is there any other questions at this time?
No, but I do like your product. I think this does give me a comfort knowing somebody could, we could have somebody get up to speed and step in if need be. You know, that I think was our biggest fear is, you know, the what if. So.
Sure. And if and when there comes a time, if you guys are like, you know, we have some stuff we need knocked out, you know, I'll be more than happy to set up a call with my director of operations at that point in time with you guys.
Okay.
And then we can either, if you have a task list, Anthony, you want to share that, that always helps ahead of time. Or if you guys are like, hey, we want to build a mobile app and we wanted to do this, this, and this, or, you know, whatever custom things you may like, just let me know what the point of discussion would be.
Okay.
And then this way I can get the appropriate director of operations on that call for you guys. And then from there, it's just a matter of, it's a work order and a service agreement. And the service agreement, typically, I'd just like to share that as well. It just goes over, you know, you have the source code, everything's mutually confidential, so you don't have to tell anyone we're working for you. We don't tell anyone we're working for you. You know, everything's mutually confidential. You can't take our developers. There's no time lock. It's work for hire, and then just we can be rolled off within a simple 2-week written notice. So we do not have any long-term contracts.
That's wonderful. Very good.
So awesome. These are some bigger companies we've been working with for years, and then here's some small to medium-sized businesses. And then, you know, we're constantly adding clients daily. But these are just, you know, a couple. I just like to present these as well. You know, we'd love to be able to help you guys if and when that time may come. You know, I'm a phone call away or a simple email. And I'll add you on, Yvonne, into the file with Anthony. And what's your role with the company?
I'm the president.
Okay. All right.
So.
Then, were you at NCPA as well?
No, I was not.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Anthony, it was great meeting you. I appreciate you and Yvonne taking the time to speak with me today. And, you know, I'd be more than happy to, you know, set up a call with my director of operations if and when you guys, you know, are ready and need help.
All right. I appreciate it.
Sounds great.
Thanks
you very
for reaching
much.
out.
All right. You guys have a great rest of your afternoon.
You as well. Thanks,
Good morning.
Bye.